much weight on it, right?
Where the fuck am I meant to put my weight? Mate, I can't put my weight in the roof instead, but I can't hold on to the door. What am I meant to do that? Oh, you're not doing it for 5 minutes. You're fucking wank stain. Don't shift your weight. What the fuck are you talking about? I can't put my weight on the fucking roof. I can't put my weight in the car. Where's it meant to go? No, man, I can't just fucking move it. Oh.
All right, welcome to the Midday Repartee. This is, well, it was meant to be the CGUK Super Deluxe, but I'm not sure if that's going to actually be a thing.
I am pretty super. I don't know if count as deluxe.
Well, I guess we'll find out. You do. You feel the super part of that statement well. Deluxe, I don't know, time will tell. Maybe. I think you're getting there.
I only just worked out in this moment that the lux part of the word deluxe is the same lux as the lux in luxury and luxurious, and it
sure.
Same thing. Never put that together in my head till right now.
Yeah, language is crazy, man. And there's so much. I think there's a lot of knowledge just kind of humorously tucked away in language and anagrams, and there's so much play going on with it. It's crazy. It's a fun thing to get into.
I talk about this all the time, that often the meaning of a word is right there in what the word is, but you never see it there. So for example, I didn't realize till I was about 25. So, if you go out for a Chinese meal or whatever, and you get some chicken in a black bean sauce, what's the sauce made out
of? Black beans?
Yeah, so that is the answer, black beans, yeah.
Right.
But I thought for 25 years that it was just made out of beans and the sauce was black. And then one day I was like, oh my God, there's a thing called a black bean. And it's right there,
sure,
in the word, but you don't see it.
Yeah, and there's all, I really do, especially words where they're spelled slightly different, but they sound exactly the same. There's a lot of shenanigans going on there, like profit and profit, like profit making money, and then a prophet, like somebody who seems like they're able to see into the future or something. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, indeed. Cool. I was trying to think then if the word the word profit you can extend into the word prophecy, but there is no word like that for profit, the money kind.
Prophecy, profitability, maybe, sort of. That's almost kind of reaching into the thinking about the future. Prophecy would be.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know, maybe a little bit, but yeah, it's just language is really fun. I've noticed that even talking about anagrams, you can even take names of places and countries, and a lot of time there's an anagram in there that perfectly it's kind of defines the place in a weird way, and it's when they came up with this name, was that already a defining component of the place, or did it just work out that way? What it's really it starts to get in your head a little, what came first.
The only example of what you're talking about is that I can think of off the top of my head is that the word mother-in-law is an anagram of woman Hitler in it,
right.
Which is kind of perfect.
Yeah, man, I might have to do a show on this because at one point I had a list going and breakdowns of stuff that was just fascinating on this, but I've lost track of it. So I might need to build some of that back up and talk about it. It can be really funny and kind of freak some people out. So wait, how did that can't possibly have been done on purpose? But yeah, it gets really interesting. I thought this was pretty funny. Feminist frequency radio. I don't really know what they get up to. But someone pointed out this is a group complaining about unrealistic depictions of women in video games, right? I guess that's their main focus. So the little art that they have for their logo, of course, is a completely unrealistic depiction of them, which is just classic, right?
It's certainly not to scale. Oh, here he is.
So somebody worked up something that was a little more accurate. Yeah. It's just
Well,
the irony's everywhere.
I'm not going to lie, that second picture looked as entertaining as the first one. I'm just
Even
as
more
likely
so.
to listen to that show as I was before.
Yeah. Dave, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad. How's my mic? I got a new headset. I'm just trying to work on the settings. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you well.
Sounds
Yeah,
wonderful.
all good?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
I had it up really loud, and then I recorded myself, and I fucking shat myself from how bad I sounded. So I was like, gotta make sure it's all right. Good.
I guess the thing that always surprises me, Captain Puckhead, how you doing?
Hello.
All right, me babbers.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, so in case you missed this, Cap, this funny thing, of course, the irony
about unrealistic depictions of women and then displaying unrealistic pictures of her.
Yeah.
I mean, this blonde one on the bottom, is that a man?
Sorry.
It looks a bit
Exactly.
like Dave.
Hey,
Exactly. And it's like,
it does actually.
do they not? There's so much of this going on every day with the SJW, the tactics used, the things that the ideas and a kind of logic that comes out from that side. It's always can you not see that you contradict yourself? Sometimes in the same sentence you do it all the time, and this is just another blatant example. And Kami Mark is right. This is way more interesting. Like, this is the honest depiction is actually way more interesting than this bullshit one.
I don't know if it's more interesting.
What's up?
What's the honest one look like again?
This is the honest one.
Yeah, now you see, now the woman on the blonde woman's got stroke face like she had in the photograph.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
the
and
one
I'm
in the
like,
middle.
that person maybe had an interesting life, This person on the bottom left here, like, yeah, I bet she went through some shit. Like, she had to deal with some stuff.
The back end of a bus.
Yeah, but the depiction of her on this upper, cartoon, it's like that's a zero. That's somebody that has nothing of interest to say, hasn't been through anything.
It's both smash and pass at the same time, isn't it?
Right. So yeah, I don't know. It's just I find that really sad. That one, there's a high probability they don't see the irony or the contradiction. That they're always going against what they claim to believe with their actions and what they present. Yeah, it's really kind of unnerving. So this was, this was meant to be a big CGUK Super Deluxe presentation, just loaded with CGUK wonderful people. But life happens sometimes, and we might not have as many CGUK folks as we were hoping for.
Well, unfortunately, two of them, as soon as we live in Britain, and when the internet was invented, our government at the time didn't invest in infrastructure because they're very clever. So we've got two people who have no internet at the moment, which is a problem.
Right. Is Russ still struggling with that? Hey, Carl, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Rotten? Sorry I'm late. I just had a hell of a fucking day.
No problem, man. It seems to be going around, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally having the worst day ever in my entire life, which is great. I think it's
And I hope that's true.
It better not be an exaggeration.
I always think the thing I'm experiencing in the current moment is the best or worst of whatever has ever happened in it. Like, oh my god, this is the best chicken wing I've ever eaten in my whole life. It's like, no, that's just the one that's in your mouth now, isn't it? Like,
Right. I get that with whatever food I'm eating.
Hey, Dave. Haven't seen you.
Sure.
Haven't been on stream with you before. How you doing, mate?
Nah,
You
good,
haven't
mate.
seen
Good,
Dave
good.
before?
Sorry. No, I haven't streamed together before. No.
Oh, right. Okay, I was going to say, everybody's seen him.
Yeah. Wait.
Oh wow, you haven't been on a stream with Dave before. That's fine.
No.
Well, you guys probably smartly don't let him on your show, or very often. See,
Yeah, they see what I'm like over here, and they're like,
No.
Yeah.
I've been pushing for Dave to come on our show a bit more. I want Dave on.
Yeah. Of course, I'm just kidding. Dave is
we could-
I will get it.
We like Dave, I do.
I thought it was Dave trying to get away from all the homoerotic advances from these two, but I don't know. That's what I heard.
Oh, I heard it's only on a Tuesday or something, so I'm like, I don't know.
We're only on a Tuesday.
No, they're 24/7, 365.
Oh.
These two,
True.
yeah.
369.
Oh yeah.
And now,
And leap years too.
only on a Tuesday, mate.
So I did find the perfect kind of metaphor for mainstream comics trying to crowdfund. I don't know. We'll see what you guys think if this nails it or not. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's just peephole, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're the truck. They're the truck next to the fucking trampoline.
Yeah, it's like they get that there's something there. There's a trampoline there. It could boost them. It could give them a lot of energy, a lot of height. It could do wonderful things, but they're just not going to get it. They're not going to understand really how to use it, how to make it work properly. So yeah, watching mainstream companies do even when the numbers are fine because there's there's huge celebrity attached, or they have more marketing reasons. Their numbers might be okay, but they're not doing crowdfunding the way it should be. If they did it right, can you imagine?
The big difference is that, at least for me, I assume it's true for everyone else, that crowdfunding is a game for us, but for them, it's a job. Like, we put game logic in there, and it like and play it like it's a game, like you use tactics and that, and they're like, right, so I need to write 100 words on my campaign today or whatever, and
Right.
and not having the same joyous experience that we are.
I think the problem is they can't take the piss out of the mainstream like we can.
That's true. Yeah, that is literally true. I think that is definitely a component, but they don't seem to understand. You'd think with all the these examples that exist of people just kicking ass with crowdfunding on the indie scene, that they would take a look at that, seriously look at it. Like,
No.
how can these people, that some of them just completely unknowns, have no background, that haven't even produced a comic, some of them, ever, and they're like doing these numbers? It's like, maybe you might want to look at that and see, how is this achieved? How did they build that excitement?
There is a certain appeal to being the underdog, to being a guy who isn't in the comic book industry, who's literally stepping foot into this thing for the first time, who is amateurish as hell like me, and just trying to wing it. And there's a certain honesty there that their shiny corporate people obviously can't replicate. That's
Yeah.
the reason. There's an honesty.
I think part. Oh, go on, mate.
Go on, Dave.
I was gonna say, I think part of it's the backlash that they received from it, because was it Boom Studios who did the Keanu Reeves thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Boom,
they received.
exclamation mark studios.
Yeah, that one. They received quite a lot of backlash from a big company doing a crowdfunding campaign that's supposed to be for individuals and people that actually need the funding to make their book. So I think a lot of the time is to make sure they don't piss off their own side.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
so.
definitely true. They get attacked by Whisper campaign members and it, like, for even suggesting or sniffing around crowdfunding.
Yeah, but it's like, once you've made that decision to do it, this I don't again, it's this faulty logic again, like we were showing with that feminist frequency radio shit. It's like, you've made the decision to do it, you're gonna crowdfund, like Sean Gordon Murphy or Boom Studios. You've done it, you're going to do it. Why don't you just fully commit? Because you're going to take the hits anyway. The people are going to attack you now because you made the choice. So you think by like only half doing it, that maybe you won't get attacked as much because you didn't really put everything you had into it. It's like, I don't get this. You've already opened yourself up for the attacks. You might as well go all in, because Sean Gordon Murphy could have made $1 million. No problem.
I agree.
If he committed.
So I've recently introduced my little mate, my little mate, to Magic.
The Gathering.
He's got this little Kong toy that he's had it since we first had him. He's always had this little toy. And I've got this little Dave, you'll like this. I've got this little bucket that contains Tunnock's caramel wafer pieces.
Yeah, you'll like that, Dave.
So what I do? He brings me his Kong. He puts the Kong on the floor, and I put the bucket in front of the Kong, and then take the Kong away. But he doesn't see me take the Kong. Then I lift the bucket up, and his face is like, "Where the fuck has the Kong gone?" And then he starts carrying the bucket around. And that's kind of how I feel it's going on. So if we're doing what we're doing, and the mainstream is the dog, the bucket is crowdfunding.
Okay.
And we've still got the substance being the Kong.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's
No,
pretty
it's
fascinating.
cute, though, when he looks at me and he's like, where the fuck did that go? Like mainstream and money.
Yeah, it's just there's just a component missing. Like I keep saying, it's the mainstream, right? They've got freelancers, they've got contractors, they don't have employees, and you don't get people who own those companies going on and doing shows and saying, "Hello, my name is George. Hello, my name is John. I make comics." They don't do that stuff, right? They're not going to get the freelancers to go online and say hello and be all genuine and waste their time or spend their time trying to sell books that they have no financial interest in, apart from getting the odd commission.
Yes.
We're fully invested because this is our IP. It's our thing. It's everything.
Very true.
Right. That's the main difference too. That's another big thing.
Yeah, and again, I think these companies are they're going to have to adapt and really learn from what other people are doing in the indie scene, because why not give the creative talent involved in your project a little incentive to promote? I mean, you're going to have to start thinking this way. The old model isn't going to work anymore. It just isn't going to work. You're going to need the people, the talent, the passion behind your projects to actually be out there championing, being champions for that project. It's like, why wouldn't you give them a percentage of the back end or a bonus? If we get here, you get a bonus. Anything, something. Just you can't do it the way you've done it in the past.
I don't want them to change. I want things to stay the way they are.
You're right. I don't either. I'm fascinated that they just don't seem. It just seems so obvious. Like, here's this amazing tool that you could leverage in this crazy way. You see what's possible with it. But I'm glad they don't seem to be able to comprehend what the tool is.
You're giving them too much credit just because they are at the head of a well-known brand or well-known brand factory. Doesn't mean they know what the hell they're doing or have any incentive to do anything apart from banal monthly schedule, if you know what I mean. They just keep pushing out books. I mean, it's not even the main business of the company anymore anyway. I think they're just they're just there because they've always been there, and there's nothing more to it. But the real thinkers are in the movie industry. They're the ones who, and the merchandising guys. They're coming up with all sorts of ways to, get in new customers,
right,
and get their products seen and everything. The comics are just, who reads comics? You know what I mean?
Oh, in the U.S. I mean, the American comic sector is so tiny. It's not even like 1% of the population. It's tiny sliver of people that read comics in this country. I mean, I'm not talking about manga, comics. I'm talking about straight up American comics. It's a very tiny percentage. Samir, that's a good point. They can achieve the underdog advantage if they act like CD Projekt Red, which, that is fascinating. CG Projekt Red is the company that does the video game Witcher. The Witcher series. Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out soon. And the hype behind that, and somehow they have, even though they're a very well established big player in the video game market, which is the biggest entertainment medium in the world, uh, they somehow do seem to have that underdog status. They maintain it, and so there is a company that kind of gets it. I think they're one of the few that really understand what it means to connect with your fan base in a way that adds a lot of value to everything you do, you know? So it is possible. Samir's right there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
you're right.
you know.
We don't want them to get there. We don't want them to
No,
understand.
we want them to carry it exactly the way they are. And I want the mainstream industry. I want it to die. and I want us to flourish. That's what I want to happen.
Yeah, there's no reason for anyone, from my perspective, to want to read something from creators that are limited, that are controlled, that don't have freedom, that are being forced to do things. Why would I want that? It doesn't make sense for me as a consumer of something to want to buy a product when I know that the people behind it are being limited in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and listen, the comics are never going to die. Batman is never going to stop being published. Even if DC, if they had to terminate their publishing branch, it would never stop, because that license, that printer license, has got a lot of value. And of course, if they stop doing it, they'll license it out to somebody else, and more competent freelancers, individuals, small companies, to keep producing those comic books. So Batman isn't going anywhere,
right?
You know? And it might even be better for Batman if it had to start getting some indie sort of, independent appeal, people who really say, you know what, we're not going to make that much money out of this, but hell, we want to make a good Batman comic.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think that the trend of, superheroes in Hollywood, big movies, I think these things always have a shelf life. They don't last forever. They're trend. I'd say this one's gone on too long already. The superhero movie thing is it's time for it to go away.
I'll keep consuming them. I love them, I do.
Yeah.
Alan Moore thinks they're crap, even though he's never seen one.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be hitting that. We're gonna be hitting that topic on, I think, Wednesday. I have it scheduled. Yeah, he came out swinging hard on that. Basically saying it, infantilized and really ruined. Had a negative impact on culture.
I love Alan Moore. Where's I think the quote was basically, it appeals to people's desire to find simple solutions to complex questions. But then again, you have to take into account that Alan Moore is a wizard who believes in anarchy as a valid form of government.
Right.
So if anybody is living in a fantasy world, I think it's Mr. Alan Moore. But
if only Northampton was a fantasy world, it'd make it so much better.
Actually, I went to Northampton a while back, and I went to the comic book shop there. I think they've got one or two. And they said, if you see Alan Moore on the street, don't walk up to him. He's got a stick, and he will hit you.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he's the only thing that Northampton's famous for these days. It used to be Cobblers. In the 90s, it had arguably the best skate park in the world in Raglands. Until Sony made the PlayStation Park in London under a fucking motorway. Piss off, Sony. And now it's just Alan Moore. So it's all the city's got.
They've still got the boot manufacturing up to a point, but with the big license, the Doc Martin factories moved abroad and stuff. So it doesn't got that much going for it anymore. It's quite a sad place, really.
I didn't know about this. I came across this the other day, and I was like, yeah, this sums it up pretty well. John and Yoko waiting for the maid to make the bed so they can continue protesting against the system.
That's excellent.
It's like, yeah. You guys, way to be champions for the people. As you wait for the maid to make your bed so you can lay there and tell people not to do things.
Imagine there's no room service. What the fuck would we do?
Oh shit! That really this amused me a little too. It shouldn't, I guess, but 1918, ladies and gentlemen, 1918. We've been through all this before, and it, probably multiple times. It would seem to me that's almost 100 years on the dot. This is what was going on in 1918. So, I think they break it down into decades. pretty neatly, and then we got a 100-year like cycle where we got to reset things, like all the debt. They got to do something with it. It becomes untenable. So, we're going to reset things, and right before they do that, it seems like everybody's got to wear a mask, right? In times of plague, let's wear a mask. So none of this is new. It just keeps repeating itself. So people hopefully, if you're feeling a lot of fear about what's going on, just know that it's nothing new. These are just cycles. You don't have to engage it on that level. You can just kind of watch it for the theater it is.
I tried wearing my arse face mask to the co-op today. It didn't go well.
Yeah. Who did we just? Somebody just popped in. Oh, there he is.
Oh, it's coming Max John. And Jan is here. Jan and Charlie. Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Hello. As you can see, there was 6 of us, so I put my mask on in my avatar.
Nice. Yeah.
It's difficult to drink though.
Sorry we're late. We had some family stuff to deal with, but we're
here.
No
this has been the worst bloody time, bloody dates for that stuff.
Yeah, it seems like right as this day started, this show was kind of wasn't going to come together the way we had all hoped, and it's fine. That's what we just keep rolling with the punches, have a good time. It doesn't matter. I appreciate you guys.
Like a genie, you rubbed the historical lamp, Rot, and you talking about the end of the First World War, and I miraculously appeared.
Nice.
She's the war fairy.
The war fairy.
Yeah.
As opposed to the wallflower, I'm the war fairy.
The war fairy.
I know, that's what I said. War fairy.
Does it still work?
Does what still work?
I was always told as a kid not to clap because every time you clap, you kill a fairy.
Mm. Is that how it works?
I don't know, Cap, but if you've got the clap, there's a cream for that.
Yeah.
There's no cream for the kind of clap I've got.
Did you catch it from a fairy?
Huh?
Not a fairy. Almost right.
So,
Cap,
does anyone know if...
Sorry, Rob.
No, Kami Mark did say that he might have to, it looked like work might pull him away. Somebody called in sick or something, and so I'm not sure if that's where he had to go or if it's just an internet connection issue.
Mark works for a very big evil company, which he will not disclose the name of, so that's quite possibly true.
Smart.
Is that what made him a communist?
I think this is probably internet issues though, because Mark normally will say goodbye.
Yeah, I was looking. I thought maybe he left a private comment, but nah, it's cool. Not a problem. What was the other thing I wanted to show you guys and get your thoughts? Oh, this was fun.
How you never won? How you never beat the British? We just walked away. Was that it?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I was thinking. I thought this was amusing.
Ancient Greeks loading their dishwasher.
It went from 2 levels there.
Yes, it does.
Oh, those Greeks, they sure love the dongs, don't they? They're really fond of the dong.
Was it the Greeks who chiseled them all off, or was that the Romans who chiseled them off?
Yeah,
those were the Romans after they became Christian, I think. Many years later.
They cut everybody's arms off as well.
No, those were the Greeks. That was just bad luck.
Contrary to popular belief, the first ever comic book shop was in ancient Greece.
Oh no! Why?
Uh-oh.
That doesn't sound like Scotland.
Why?
Yeah, they were known as the ancient geeks.
Oh, Jesus! Oh. Come fetch me.
Yeah.
Where's the
it's
rapture?
Definitely one of those days. It's definitely. Well, the good news is though. The good news is that some kids have come together and they've solved the bullying problem. It's completely solved, guys. After this, there's no way bullies are going to be able to exist.
We're the Bully Busters. We eat straight rocks. If we catch you bullying, we'll knock off your socks. Yo, what's good? My name is Chester. Say a bad word and you're gone for the semester.
Hey, hello. My name's Wayne. Mess with my friends and you'll feel the pain.
What's up, my homies? The name is Jamie. Why be a goon when you can get more brainy?
I have issues with that. The first issue is, as a teacher, they're the students in heaven, but personally, I'd probably be there kicking the shit out of them with the other kids.
Yeah, I think they just inspired. They inspired a whole new breed of bullies with this thing. I mean, it just it's.
Look at Dave's face. He's like, Rob, where did you get this from my childhood?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's catnip for bullies. That is literally like you are asking for trouble doing that. You are actually asking for trouble.
Wasn't a bully before, but now I am. Yeah. Yeah. But have you noticed, but kids in general these days, I mean, it's a cool thing to side with the government, to tell everybody to follow the rules and to police people and how they thought. When I was a kid, it was the exact opposite. I know. You made fun of everything. You took the piss out of everything. You followed no rules, and you did not listen to authority. You just didn't. And it's just everything has been turned on its bloody head.
Yeah.
Well, I saw something earlier. It's like they're now saying that's the new punk rock, apparently. Is agreeing with like the government, and I'm like, what?
Well, we observed something at work today. Actually, this kind of blew my mind a little bit. So, we've noticed outside, not far from our home, that there's a lot of kids with skateboards now, like loads of them. It's like had a massive insurgence again. Like skateboarding is popular, and kids just doing things like going to the park at the weekends and having picnics with each other, like really old-fashioned thing. And we've said that we think there's this weird role reversal where actually now all the adults are having to be on phones and computers and tablets because of work, because of like all that sort of stuff, where the kids have spent the last 6 months and they're sick of it. So the minute they can get out, they are. So it is completely like everything's flipped. Yeah. And one of the kids last week said to me, we was learning about the civil rights movement, and one of the kids went, "Do you realise, Miss, that the civil rights movement is the complete opposite to I'm going to call it the Budweiser bug for purposes of YouTube analytics?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, when we're being told to isolate to save ourselves, right? So it's almost like being segregated. But the one thing which they're telling us to do, but the one thing in the world that is actually killing us is indiscriminatory." And I went, okay, I really don't know how to answer with this one. Yeah. And I sort of went, yay, good for you. You can have a half point. Yeah, like, well done.
Yeah, that's the most tedious bloody connection I've ever heard in my entire life.
Heard that word for decades.
Pretty tenuous, but no, I can't. And another fascinating thing is everything that, like this lockdown and all these rules have caused, it's actually closing people off from all the things that keep people healthy. You know, going to the beach, going into the ocean, being in the sun, doing all these things are so important to maintaining health. It's ridiculous. So what's the first thing they do is they shut down the beaches, the parks, try to get everybody locked into their little boxes. This is it's so unhealthy.
Like, before lockdown, I used to have a 6-pack. Then I stopped going to the gym because of lockdown, and now I look like this. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know. We watched it happen before our eyes, Dave. It's been tragic as hell. It's
shocking.
Really
absolutely shocking.
No, Jan's got a 6-pack. It's called Carlin or Foster's, depends on the day of the week.
Yeah.
Charlie, thank you for saying house point.
Pardon?
So,
thank you for saying house point. I haven't heard that word in
not
decades.
this achievement point crap. That's house points.
Oh, they've been around a long, long time.
What school is it you teach at? Hogwarts. Fucking hell.
I wish I taught at Hogwarts because I'd be what's her name, Professor McGonagall. That's who I'd be if I taught at Hogwarts.
I never really
nearly killed Dave then.
Yeah, I almost spat my water out on my laptop.
Jacobus is wondering if you guys, Kami, Mark, Cap, Charlie, if you guys, if any of you knew each other before any of this. Like, did you guys meet each other before?
You think I'll be hanging around with these fuckers?
Made an anti-bullying video.
No, Rot. Yeah, they think No, he's saying that he thinks that the anti-bullying video is the three of us when we were younger.
Oh, I see. I missed that completely.
I can see it. I can definitely see it.
Oh, that's coming, Mark. Oh, if they met when younger. Yeah, you guys would have totally predicted. I don't think so. No. You guys were the cool kids, right? You weren't bullied.
I'll be honest. I was an absolute little shit at school, and what I mean by that is I got really. I got really good grades, and I was really, really good, and I never got in trouble. But I knew how to sort of move between groups so that I got on with everybody, but equally I still got all my work done, no matter who I hung around with. I was the only kid in my entire year. I got a certificate at the end of my school year.
You were the only kid in your whole year?
Yeah, I got a certificate at the very, very end of being like in school before I went to college. I was the only kid in my entire school that never got a single detention. For the whole 6 years I was in secondary school.
I'm curious, what was that detention for?
Yeah.
She didn't get one, she said. Not a
Yeah,
single
I didn't get a single one.
Oh.
No, not a single one. I was the only kid in the entire year that didn't get a single detention.
That's depressing.
Now, is this something you look back on with regret? Are you like, man, I wish I had been gotten into more trouble? Or are you like, damn, I was a good lass?
I enjoyed school. I enjoyed university more, but I did enjoy my secondary school. I don't know, really. I mean, it wasn't something I set out to do on purpose. I had this attitude that what is the point in staying after school for later than I need to, when I could just go home and play my PlayStation. So if I just did everything I needed to, and then I could go home, I never got a detention. So get the job done and then disappear was my attitude.
Detention for me was the opportunity to do my homework and then go home and play my PlayStation, because I wouldn't get disturbed when I'm doing my homework.
What did you get a detention for, Cap?
Me? Lots of different things. I used to get frequent detentions for being the only person when they played rugby that took it as an opportunity to go around punching people.
Right?
Detention for doing that?
Yeah. I was when I played rugby, I was a hooker.
Oh yeah.
No,
I used to throw punches. I used to kick everyone up at any opportunity. In the front row of that scrum, I used to get my fucking, the big old fashioned rugby boots. I don't have them anymore. The high top boots with the massive studs, rake them down people's shins, all that kind of stuff. I used to get in trouble for all of that.
Cap, I was the same with hockey. No one ever wanted me on their team because I would just tackle everyone. I was indiscriminate. I literally just went, yep, give me the ball. Right, I'm scoring.
Did you say hockey?
That was Cap.
Yeah, pretty much. I did play hockey when I was younger. I was a county player. But I used to have to go on Saturday mornings for county training, and it was boys and girls. All the boys did not want to play with the girls.
Oh,
right.
Simply because girls don't have any honour in sport whatsoever. They just take the opportunity to hit everybody they possibly can.
Yep. That's 100% true. It's the only time I've ever had a nosebleed because I got whacked in the face with a hockey bat. Not because they were trying to hit the ball. Hockey stick. Not because they were trying to hit the ball. They actually purposely tried to hit me because apparently I was going at them with my own hockey bat and stick. And they didn't self-defense.
And I apologize.
Laughing.
I might have some loud noises coming from beyond my window here in a little bit. I apologize for that. It's Monday.
You got your gardener in again.
Yard work will be happening.
Pedro,
we'll deal with it.
Is Pedro diggling your wife on the side as well, like while you're talking to your friends?
Oh, and by the way, I'm a month no alcohol and a week without no cigarettes.
I thought you were going to say pregnant there.
Seriously, that's good. Real good, man.
Intentionally or unintentionally?
Oh no, it's with great intentions, for sure.
Oh, good then.
Yeah, it's man, just the money that's being saved. Just the alcohol alone is probably $400 a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll be able to
it's incredible.
Silence.
It's incredible. Jan's brother-in-law, what was it? He saved up enough to take your sister to Mexico, didn't he?
Yeah, he used to smoke 2 packs a day.
Couldn't bring her back though.
Yeah, one-way ticket. It was he used to smoke 2 packs a day, and over here that would be they're about £10 a packet. So 2 packs is about almost $30.
That's a cheap brand as well, isn't it? They can be 14, 15 pounds. It's like $17 or something for 20
When
cigarettes.
I was a kid, a pack of 10 used to be £1.36. Embassy number 1. Thank you. Just before school.
What's that, Cap? In the 1920s?
No, a bit later than that, Dave. A bit later than that.
All right.
1925.
Yeah, the cigarette cost here is insane. We have been going to the Indian casino where you can get cigarettes for about half the price as you can, because just one pack here is like $8. Not cool.
Yeah, that's like half the price of here.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Well, relative, I guess. For us, it was a huge price hike. It was a tax thing, and that's why at the Indian casino they don't have to charge the tax. So the cost is significant. It's like literally half as much.
We call that France.
Yeah, we have areas like that. Imagine if you had to smoke them all before you could leave the casino. Yeah, here they put the prices up by like 5p a year every year for 100 years or whatever. Like.
And this, of course, was just to help people, right? That's what they tell you, like just to
it pays
people
for
to stop
all
smoking.
It pays for all the cancer surgery and shit that we need after we've done it. That's how socialism works.
My mum was telling me that when her and my dad go to Cyprus, because that's where my dad's from, and they go and sometimes visit family. The casinos out there, you get free tea, coffee, and cigarettes in the casinos.
Oh,
so and some casinos it's free food as well. Because it's all done to keep you in
Which
there,
ones?
isn't it?
Sure.
So you'll keep gambling.
Where's the free food?
That's there is free food in Las Vegas.
All right, I'm going to Las Vegas.
Yeah, maybe this isn't the kind of info we should be sharing here. It's not good. I was curious about this. Gargoyle says UK authorities are different than American authorities, and can you guys speak to that a little? Like, I don't know what he means by that necessarily.
The UK and America are different places.
Yeah,
I was going to say
thank
something.
you, Kat. Thank you. I feel enlightened. This show, should we just end it? Like, that's a pretty awesome way to end it.
Beat that.
Yeah.
That's the oracle right there.
Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, when he says that, does he mean that UK authorities are easier? Like, they're more friendly, or is it more aggressive? Like, what does he mean by that?
Never dealt with American ones, but I know that coming into America, apparently they like to search all your cavities and stuff. I don't think we do that quite as much. Yeah.
It's only for African chub.
Yeah.
Well, I've never had a police officer asked to investigate any of my cavities. So
yeah, but you're an American citizen, so it's for people
coming in, right? Yeah.
I've had a doctor do it, and that wasn't fun.
Right.
Never mind.
We've been when we went to America once. When we went to America once, we took my grandmother, my Turkish grandmother, who she speaks very little English, and she didn't know what a sniffer dog was. And my brother was a very small baby at the time, and he'd been eating on the plane. He'd been eating strawberries, and the sniffer dog came out, and the sniffer dog could smell the strawberries. And my grandmother didn't know what a sniffer dog was, and she smacked it on the nose to get away from my brother because he was only 18 months old. And the next thing, there was just police surrounding us, and they had all our suitcases out, everything. And it was really funny to talk about the stereotypical Brits abroad, right? Opened my dad's suitcase, and there was 10 tins of Heinz baked beans and 4 boxes of PG Tips tea bags inside the suitcase.
Oh shit! Oh man! So yeah, the no gun thing. What's that? That seems that's fascinating to me.
Our police do have guns. You just have to typically call for them. Like
it's a specific units.
SO19.
Yeah.
SO19. And thing is though, I think every country, no matter whether they've got guns or not, has got their own breed of violence. I mean, we do have gun crime, but it's probably not as big as the States. But we have more knife crime. But then it's relative, isn't it? Because we're smaller.
The Middle East has more suicide bombing crime. No one ever
Bleach.
mentions that.
We have a shitload of bleach. You know why? Like in London, the gangs they just love throwing bleach in each other's eyes and burning each other's faces with chemicals.
Yeah,
because
I remember there was that acid attack trend like a few years ago.
Yeah.
it's not over yet.
It's good times. It's
you
really
get less
fun.
of a sentence if you're caught with a bottle of bleach than if you're caught with a knife. So that's what they do.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah, it does really depend. I mean, even your legal systems. I mean, don't you have professional juries in the States, don't you, or do you not? Do you sort of get selected to do jury service, or is it like
yes?
Yeah, you do. Okay, because I know there was talk at one time, wasn't there? America was thinking about doing actual professional juries. So people weren't picked.
What a horrible fucking idea.
Yeah, I've done jury service over here on a murder trial before.
Yeah.
And I was at the Old Bailey, which is probably one of the most famous ones over here, and that was an interesting experience. I mean, I can talk about it now because I'm not obviously it ended up not being a case if as it were, but I got pulled to do jury service, and it was a murder trial. And it was a guy that said that he hadn't murdered his girlfriend, but he was caught with like the knife and everything. And he was saying, "It wasn't me. I had it in my hand. Someone ran out the house." And they told us, you normally only do it for 2 weeks. And they actually said to us, like, you're going to have to let your workplaces know this is going to be a long one. He's pleading not guilty, so there's going to be a proper big trial. And I was like, oh my God, like the more you do, I don't know if it's the same in the States, but over here, the more you do it, the more they pay you. Like it goes up and up and up. So I was like, oh my God. And at the time I was working in a place where I didn't have my weekends to myself. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be working Monday to Friday and I'm going to be earning more money. And I was already spending it in my head,
Yeah, right.
And then we went in on the Monday morning and then they went, the forensics are back. So he's changed his plea, so you're going to basically be going home on Tuesday. It was like, what do you mean? What? And it transpired that as he slit her throat, he'd shouted, and as he'd shouted, microscopic bits of her blood had gone in his mouth. And when they swabbed him, they just found her blood, and there was no contest. He went, "Yeah, I'm guilty. I done it." And we was
what did he shout?
I don't know what he shouted. Please don't send me to the Old Bailey. Maybe I don't know. But,
that's the real question right there. Like, yeah.
If he'd have been wearing a face mask, it'd have been all right.
Exactly. There we go.
Yeah, guys, you gotta wear the mask. Obviously, every 100 years at least.
Where's that picture from? I'm interested.
I'm not sure where it's from. I just know. Well, I know just the year. I know it's from 1918.
I'm going to hazard a guess and say the internet.
Oh, shit.
Yes. So it's all ridiculous. We just keep doing the same thing over and over because it works. When you find a way to manipulate amounts of people into going into debt and being your little slaves, I'd imagine you stick with it. You keep repeating it because it tends to work. We keep falling for the same tricks. So. Keep at it.
The World Health Organization has flip-flopped on the use of lockdown now. The WHO.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, they did. They said maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, now that it's becoming very obvious that the response has caused infinitely more destruction and harm to people than the actual thing. Yeah.
To be fair,
maybe it was a bad idea.
Anyway.
Ridiculous. This blows my mind. This thing with celebrity, with Hollywood people just turning into monsters.
Oh yeah.
They all look the same though.
Yeah.
They must
that
all
middle
go to the
one
same plastic surgeon.
Looks like a fucking alien.
Well,
they look like characters from Bo Selector, innit?
It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, she just did. She have Yeah, she's just turning into the Crypt Keeper slowly.
I mean, the list of, this goes on and on and on. There's so many.
This is, I have to say, but these are the best examples of Hollywood writing their own comics.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there is a kind of the newest idea, I'd say, is this HGH, human growth hormone. Seems to be a substance that gets abused by celebrity and athletes, especially. I guess this stuff is kind of, it seems like a miracle drug when you first start on it, but the problem is you do it.
Lance Armstrong will testify it's a miracle drug. You win 7 Tour de France's and you lose a testicle.
Exactly, but it messes with your body. The moment if you take it for too long, too much of it, it just wreaks havoc on your hormones. So when we see these, it's not just the plastic surgery. I think these people abused this substance for far too long, and either they couldn't get it, couldn't afford to get it. It's not easy to come by and it's expensive. So whenever they just start breaking down really quickly once they're off of it, and it's like they try everything they can to stop it from happening, but there's just no stopping it. So it's not worth it. No matter what, if you think you're getting away with something, there's always a price to pay for it later. So just don't.
I just feel sorry for the 2 brothers at the bottom, because they made a pact at one point that they would both get the same surgery, so they would always look the same, so they always look like brothers. So you can imagine one day, on a Sunday morning, one brother comes round to the brother's house, opens the door.
It's the Elephant Man.
Yeah, I know, dude. Those guys, they are so bizarre on the bottom. Whoa.
What I don't get is like these people on the left, most of them, apart from maybe the top one, are like relatively good looking. Like
initially,
and then
but that's what I'm saying. It's like they take this
the
miracle shit to have bodies they shouldn't be able to have and to stay looking younger longer. But the price they pay later on in life is like obvious.
If you want bodies you shouldn't be able to have, just eat a fucking shit ton of food. That's what you got to do. You shouldn't be able to have
I think it's
that.
funny. They actually look like Bruce Campbell in Escape from LA.
Yeah. There's no escaping, man. Nobody gets away with anything. Just
It's the problem is with Hollywood. Well, it isn't. Those guys are not all from Hollywood. They're all celebrities. They're all famous people. The point is that there's this culture where you're not allowed to just get gracefully old. You're not allowed to, look bad at any point because you're in the media. People expect you because you know what the tabloids are like. As soon as you start getting a bit of a gut, as soon as you start getting a few wrinkles, then they're on you and they're like, oh, look at so and so, really showing their age. And I guess that sort of paranoia feeds into these people wanting to stay young forever. And of course you can't. It's like eventually you just end up looking like bad taxidermy,
Yeah. Yeah. And we how many times do we need to see this to understand that this is just, we shouldn't be envying any of these people.
No.
What they give up to get that fame and so-called money. They give up all their freedom. They don't have autonomy. Look at how they're humiliating celebrities with these public service announcements. You think these people have a choice?
How far people are willing to go just to stay relevant?
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting violent and stuff. Are you surprised they would?
The idea that the people that run these medical facilities and the medical industry, particularly in the States, are also the same people that are educating your kids, ladies and gentlemen.
Struggle snuggling your kids. But I can't, because it doesn't really involve us, although we are affected by it. I can't wait for the American election to be over, just so that we can have some different news.
Oh, I know.
I want that to be finished.
See, I don't know. I think the problem is Trump's going to win, and then I just think these crazies will get crazier, and it will get worse.
No, I think there'll be a period of acceptance. It's kind of now they think, oh, there's a chance, and that's the problem. If he does win, which I think he will, they're going to have to go through a period of, okay, well, we tried and failed, and
the Democrats have already said they won't accept the result if Trump wins.
Well,
there's a few things going around predicting that the Democrats end up winning, finding a lot of mail-in votes afterwards. They get counted.
That fucking John Malin, I knew he'd be up to something.
Yeah, right. It's it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I think the big thing is though that there are bigger factors. I know the election seems really crucial and important to what might happen moving forward, but I think the bigger picture here is the economics that are happening, and there's no escaping that. We're at that point where some kind of massive reset is going to happen, and when that happens, all we have to do is look to history to know what that looks like. So it's not fun. It's not going to be pleasant.
Sometimes I think sometimes we're just getting ready to go into cyberpunk world. Because I think that's all that's happening. Is the only thing that you're seeing that's really like dying around, other than old people and people that are sick, is businesses, small businesses.
Yes,
they're all dying. It's just it's just a big corporation right now that are doing anything. Like right now, Bezos went from one of the richest guys in the world to the richest guy in the world.
Yes, right. Yeah, but
hey,
you know,
what's
I think
going
that's
on
the
in
ink
here?
spots. What's
this
up,
is
man?
the UK stream. Why are we talking about the USA? What's going on?
Well, to get their perspective.
I know, right?
Get that perspective on it.
It's because we copy every single bloody thing that you do. In my town, there are more Trump protests than Tory protests.
Right.
I shit you not.
Yeah, same here.
If you're not copying, you're not pasting either. You got to keep that in mind.
Nice. Hey, I live in Arizona, and we had a Biden rally up here, and the only person that showed up was one Trump supporter. So I'm proud of my state. Nobody showed up.
If you're worried about Tory protests, you ought to come up here, mate. Our Tories are protesting the Tories at the moment.
So strange, man.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe Cap, I think you might agree with me on this. You know, in terms of the cyberpunk thing, like, yeah, I think that's where some of the world is going. If you want to stay plugged into the urban, you know, the really densely populated places, if you feel like that's where you need to be to survive, it's probably going to get very cyberpunk. It's going to get very dystopian. It's going to get desperate. But that's a choice. There are people that if you want to move outside that, it's entirely possible. And I think that's coming to that realization, like, oh wait, this is just one piece of being here on the earth. We don't have to go that route. We could always go over here and just grow some shit and help each other out a little bit and just hang out.
I had to do something today.
Till the other ones go, nah, we want your stuff. Thank you.
They won't. They don't want it. They want to be in their city. That's the beauty of it. They don't. They think that the people like. How do you think they view like the Amish or whatever? People living in a city are like, wow, those idiots. They're not taking advantage of all this wonderful stuff. And it's like, no, they're doing fine.
Pretty much like people in the city viewed farmers for a while.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't want it. That's the beauty. They're not going to.
They want what they have though. That's what I'm saying.
I had to go and do everyday stuff. Like, I live in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. I have to do everyday stuff that most people who live in the city would probably walk 30 seconds to go and get it done. I had to go in a 14-mile round trip on a bicycle in the pissing rain and the pounding wind to get to where I needed to be told it was a local public holiday.
Oh, shit. Right.
Sorry, this is a local pub.
That is funny, man. So are there hyper localized holidays there? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no, it's true. There are.
Interesting. I like that.
That's
weird. That's
I
cool.
live in an area where most shops, if they're not owned by big businesses, most shops still have a half day on a Wednesday.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, everybody's not working here because of, you can't call it Columbus Day anymore. Indigenous Peoples Day. This is the first year I've heard everyone is saying Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day. So
seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty nuts.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Leave it to Americans to be bitching about something that happened, 1,000 years ago or whatever. What the fuck?
Yeah, did you see the pic there? They destroyed a freaking statue not too long ago. I just saw that passing on the.
Oh, the Lincoln statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that was in Scotland, ink spots, that would be considered hate speech. Humza Yousaf would have you hung, drawn, and quartered.
Yep.
There are people doing great things, though. I mean, like, take this for example.
Yeah.
That's
What the fuck?
That's awesome, man.
To make a decision.
That's awesome. I want to meet that person. Like,
is that two separate people? Yeah. Where's the head of the second one at?
Human Centipede.
It's really up to you to decide. It's up to you to
I don't know what you do that. Do you go from the front, from behind? Do you keep it inside or outside? What do you do?
I know it raises all kinds of fascinating questions.
You know what I mean?
I really want to explore that situation there. I mean,
Yes.
I want to get to know what's going on. Like, yeah.
Does it have two vaginas?
Well, that would be one of the first questions that we're talking about. Yeah.
I would hope
have
so.
double set of boobies too.
It's definitely
One on
only
the top
got
and one on the bottom.
It's definitely only got one asshole, but
Why? How do you know it only has one?
well, it could have like a double-barreled asshole, but it doesn't have like
it could be like
one on the front and one on the back.
Maybe they can
shifted
split
at an
in two. Maybe
Yeah.
they can split in two and there's a head that pops out of the other one.
Why now, Sim? This doesn't mean that something like this needs to appear in one of your upcoming comics. It's not necessary.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah.
What are you on about? This is the concept art for his next book.
This is the inspiration point. Yeah.
So did you guys already
I just
go
wanted
over,
to, there are creatively awesome things happening out there.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, did you guys already go over all the awesome CG books that are out and that are coming out? The UK people's books.
We haven't
already,
done
or?
it yet. We haven't
You
done it
it
yet.
yet.
We're not. No, we
What
don't want
the
to do
heck?
that. That's no
You're not
fun.
very
Nobody
efficient.
wants that.
What? The UK have more than just the Mary Boys book? I thought that's the only book they had.
No, they got a pile of them.
I know they got a pile. I love it. Have you guys thought about creating like kind of a website for CGUK, like a centralized, or does one already exist?
We've got a blog site, don't we?
Yeah, that we haven't updated since like the day we started.
Yeah.
I can tell you though, thanks to Captain Fuckhead's calculations the other day, that we're currently on over $75,000. No, that's pounds, isn't it? £75,000, probably like $90,000, like between us and it, like raised on books, which is pretty sweet in just this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
that's
what
really
is the
cool.
time frame on Not Daredevil, Commie Mark?
I just need to do it.
Oh,
Dude,
as soon
that
as-
should be on
as soon as
every
I do it.
campaign. I just need to do it. So that's my time.
As soon
Like, the
as
next
soon as I
night
do it, it'll be ready. Yeah, just do it. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm probably gonna slide it in January.
Interesting choice of words.
to that
probably.
horse thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think January.
Yeah. Speaking of sliding it in, that's
and what are you working on?
Is that
Chubbs?
research for Rune of Ragnon? Because that is fitting.
oh yeah, it's research for sure. That's the folder I have it in. I don't know.
So I'm sure there's a gargoyle somewhere going all giddy, going yay! Rune of Ragnon.
Oh, I see his face.
Yeah. So Chubb, you're are you still currently doing the email sign up for Mary Boys the new campaign?
I want to launch that as soon as I got a piece of art finished, so that at least it's got some sort of figure thingy. So it isn't just a sign up page with no art. And I just did a little maquette of a character. I'm not recognized.
Yes. Nice, dude.
Just for I'm using the old shitty camera, so you're not going to see much, I'm afraid. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dude, that's cool.
Yes. Mary Boys.
Now you gonna make molds of that for something, or?
Oh no, it's just a
for
reference.
fun.
Dude, you just reminded me that I started like a blood hunt sculpture in the first campaign that I never finished. It's in a box somewhere.
And so Mary Boys Part 2 is you got it all written and it's in production, huh?
It's all I've scripted everything. I've thumbnailed almost everything. Yeah, so it's not really a part 2. It's just a collection of short stories in the same town, in the same sort of.
He's been thumbing Mary Boys for months.
Does the sequel to Mary Boys follow the adventures of the boys? Or
Well, yeah,
Grace?
yeah, the boys and Parish, yeah, as before. But it's got its own. It's self-contained, so You know, it's almost like think about it this way. Think about it as a collection of spirit stories, I would think.
And you're going to be able to snag the first one as well in this campaign. You're going to have like a combo tier for it.
I'm not sure. I don't know what would be the best way of doing it. Maybe I should just put the ones, because I still got overprinted, so I've still got boxes full of the old comics. So
they're really rare.
That book was
really rare.
Yeah, that book was beautiful, and I think now that everybody's kind of seen what people got in the mail, that they would really want it. So.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I could put it on eBay. I could put set up an eBay store, or I guess I could just add it to the campaign. I could do that. Yeah.
I definitely do a Mary Boys part 1, part 2 tier. I know it's part 1, part 2, and part 3 or whatever. But
yeah, agreed. Always give people the opportunity to invest more into what you're doing, for sure. And people are going to want to have access to those first stories.
Yeah. I mean, the support's been really good, and people. I keep getting people who keep coming back and buying more stuff. You know, so
nice. It's there's something very iconic. It's obviously, I think it's people just inherently know that Mary Boys is going to stand the test of time. It will be something that continues to grow and pull in more fans. It's just it's very clear. So yeah, we love what you're doing, man.
Oh, cool, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've got
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I've got, these are just standalone stories, but I have 2 major arcs planned. But when I start them, it'll be. I'm not in any sort of hurry. There's loads and loads of material. So I think what a lot of people do is they tend to do a project and then they change it and they move on to something completely different. You know, whereas what I'm doing is I'll be spending a lot of time on one thing.
Right, and I do. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that approach. I think that spending, if you're going to put all that time and energy into campaigns, it's nice if it's all feeding into the one thing that hopefully you're just growing over time. Whereas if it's just a new thing every time, you're just starting over every time almost. I guess you could say you're building a fan base just for you as a creator, but I do think it's more powerful when it's just you're creating that fan base for that IP.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that some concepts just have one story in them. You know,
right.
You want to tell one story about a certain scenario, and that is it. You don't really want to continue with it. So it depends on what it is. Yeah, it depends on the idea.
It wouldn't be practical for me to do a sequel to Best Career.
Exactly.
Like what would happen?
Right.
They already achieved the end goal, but a thing like Mary Boys, it can carry on forever, and like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just make it episodic. You can do 14 years of TV shows, just keep churning out new stories every.
You could go meta though, Mark, and cross the fourth wall and do the sequel about what happened to you after you produced the book.
or you could do part 2, and you could show the Supreme Leader cheating death. We all thought he was dead, and he came back.
Do that he dies and goes to hell and takes over there as well.
No, he becomes the Supreme Leader of the afterlife, and becomes revered there as well. You could be like, yeah, that'd be awesome.
He really is Joe Biden.
I did consider doing a sequel that follows Fidel and Castro as they try and prevent the assassination of JFK. But the photos don't exist for it, and I'd need a real Photoshop dude to help me do it. But it's a dream.
Yep. And then Charlie's book, The Big Boy, is coming out pretty soon, right?
Oh yeah, that's going to be the really big kahuna.
I'm hoping that's going to be the 6-figure UK book that comes out. I think it's going to be. Everyone's talking about it, so.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hope not. Should be insufferable.
No pressure.
No pressure.
You're insufferable. You're insufferable with just 6 beers, let alone 6 figures.
Hey, listen, I don't proclaim to be anything other than the cunt that I am.
There you go. Then we're in agreement. You can never accuse me of lying, can you?
How many people do you have on the waiting list so far, Charlie? Because I think last when we spoke, you said it was over 800 or something. How many do you have?
There was there's been a couple of big pushes the last couple of days, and it's gone up to 969.
Wow,
Jeez.
that's awesome. Yeah.
969. That a lot of power in that. Nice. That is very cool.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can delete my 900 Gmail accounts now?
Yeah, delete them. Yeah, because
now I heard I have.
Let's face it, Cap. You'll never get a 69.
I have heard that MailChimp has not been very reliable. Are you guys thinking about trying to use some other platform for sending out the emails?
Well, if anyone
Charlie will get a butler to do it.
Pardon?
So just get your butler to do it. Just deliver
Oh yeah,
letters
my
to
butler.
everyone
Where's
there.
Yan gone?
Because that would be, you don't want that to happen when you have a list that massive. You certainly don't want people not getting the emails.
No, I mean, there's especially with the fact that there is a 24-hour special on the campaign as well.
Right.
There's going to be so Donald DeLay's cover. I've also got it in black and white, and it for the first 24 hours, it's going to be available black and white in a black and white variant.
Nice.
and after that, it's gone. There is also there's so much stuff that's going on that campaign. There is hand-drawn sketch cards by Statistical Zero, our very own Stato, who at the last count he very gleefully told me he's done 200 of them. And he literally just draws. He's also done which the guys in our CGUK DM group have seen. There's he's done the most amazing kids book. It's called The Kid Capers, so it's based around Chaplin's 1921 film The Kid, but it's all original stories, so it's all little shorts in one little book, and that's going to be a stretch goal on the campaign. And
Nice.
if you get the Keystone Kit and Caboodle tier, which is the top tier, you will get everything that gets launched on this campaign, whether as stretch goals or add-ons, because there's loads of stuff coming. You will automatically get that.
So that would be kind of like the subscription to the campaign, as EVS would say.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I'm looking at the moment into. There's a couple of companies actually local to us that do not as beautiful and as elaborate as Ethan's having the honeycomb box, but there are companies that do boxes, and I've looked at one that looks like a suitcase, and like an old-fashioned suitcase with the stickers on the side.
Right.
So it might be something that I might think about. What I'm playing around with the idea is if I hit certain stretch goals and everyone that's signed up for the Keystone tier will get it delivered and packaged in that. So it's all sort of little certain things like this that I'm thinking about adding on the campaign.
What's the name of the tier again?
The Keystone Kit and Caboodle tier.
Sounds like a Harry Potter book.
Well, what I love about
Kit and Caboodle.
I'm going to say one thing to you, Cap. Why don't you Hufflepuff off?
I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't speak childish.
Really? I stream with you once a week. That's not what I hear. Anyway, so it's going to be. I think it's going to be quite good. We've got 3 covers. One by Carl, who obviously Carl's one is insane. He knocked that out the park, and it's absolutely incredible.
Billy Tucci described Chubb's cover for this book as the greatest comic book cover he's ever seen composed.
Yep.
Did he not?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Billy Tucci. I mean, I'm like, what? Bloody hell, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Billy, are
yeah.
you talking about the same? It's
Yeah,
I'd have a
fantastic.
screenshot of that on the campaign. I would.
It's
no doubt.
It is something. I mean, then I've got Minnie Tartamella's cover, which is the classic Charlie, and then I've got Donald DeLay's one, which the Chaplin estate have, for some reason, nicknamed it the manga cover. I don't know why. They obviously don't understand what manga is.
Right.
It looks absolutely nothing like a manga cover.
Right.
But it's
what I love about Charlie's London, the project, is that it really, you're very passionate and committed to ComicsGate. You always have been. You've been very well spoken in that regard. But this thing is really, it's going to cross those boundaries. It's reaching out to a lot of people that have no idea what CG is. So I think that this project alone is going to do so much to bring people into this network, this community of people that love comics. So I really applaud you for that. It's a great thing.
Thank you. I mean, the book is. I haven't. I didn't start out to be political with this book, but you can't write a book about Charlie Chaplin and not be political. I actually,
Sure.
I didn't realize how much so until I started to do it, because I think one of the reasons why now his story is more important than ever is because he was the epitome of cancel culture, and it didn't matter how much the fuckers tried to do it, they never got him down, they never beat him down. And there's a speech that he made in 1952 when he came back to London, and he talks about how it's all right for me, I've been living in the States, but I've come over here and I've seen what you look like after the war, being in the thick of, you've been in the thick of it, I haven't. And I think the people of London embraced him because he was honest and said, I've got my faults and I'm only human and I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. Whereas I think one of the biggest gripes we have with celebrity now is that they live in their ivory towers. They claim how bad their lives are, but they have no concept of the real world. And there's just a clip of him when he's talking about how great the NHS is, and he's almost in tears, saying about how when he grew up as a child, how he saw death on the streets and how his mother was thrown in an asylum because she literally drove herself mad because she couldn't look after her two boys. And you know, he literally says, you know, I am privileged and I'm lucky and I'm so proud to see my hometown has built itself back up after the war. And I just think that's a story that needs to be told, you know.
Yeah. I've never understood, I never really got the whole like CG line about not having politics in a comic book. It's like, no, that's not, it's almost impossible not to tell a story and not have it. It's got to have some. What are you telling me? Your characters have a perspective on the world. They have a worldview. It's impossible to tell a story without any politics. Yeah, but the point is not to let that be the reason you're telling the story is to progress a political agenda.
The magic word was political propaganda.
Yes.
You can have like a political topic. You can have conspiracy. You can have the evil, like, you know. But it doesn't have to revolve about it with going this is the good way and this is the bad way. We're supposed to be exposing both sides. Like, that's how many used to do it before. It was just not one-sided. It was not propaganda. It was about...
No, I think you're right. And I think the other thing about Chaplin is that he was very politically misunderstood, but he also came...
What the hell?
That was that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Well, you know, this is a tight-knit group. They stream together all the time, and obviously are very comfortable smacking each other about.
It's just British humor.
Exactly. No, I was just going to say, I think the thing with him though is that it goes back to the difference between British and American politics. I think that he grew up in the slum streets, and what he probably considered to be a liberal, a lot of Americans consider to be communism. And I think that was the issue, and I think he was incredibly stubborn. And the big problem, he was vain. I mean, pride is a sin, and to be fair, pride being a sin is the nature of this story, because his whole problem started because he refused to give up his British citizenship. That's what J. Edgar Hoover and McCarthy went after him for. But you know, the only reason that he wouldn't give up his citizenship, he wanted to be knighted. He wanted to be Sir Charlie Chaplin. That was it. There was nothing else. There was no political agenda. He wanted to come here and lord it up and be a lord of the manor.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool that, you know, it's not going to have any impact, this story you want to tell, if you're not including the faults, because nobody would have an interest in it. So again, I think that your approach is right on this, and I think everyone is really looking forward to this book.
What's really good about this book is that this is Charlie's thing. She knows the ins and outs. I mean, you do best writing about the stuff that you know. You know, it isn't somebody who just picked a topic out of the air and said, "I'm going to research about Charlie Chaplin. I'm going to do a graphic novel about it because I scored a license." This is somebody who's really been into this for many years. You know, so you're really going to get ins and outs of the story. It's going to be very genuine.
He's always been
giving out worthless awards. Little shout out to my boy Rashi. Well done, Marcus. You shouldn't need to have to do it, mate, but well done anyway.
Oh yeah. If I ever get knighted, when I'm presented to the Queen, you know, first services to the comic book industry, I'll pull a Mooney instead in it, like sort of do.
You'll be shot on sight, mate.
I'll be a legend.
I am very lucky because, like, there are of the panel of 8 of us here. There's 3 people, not including myself, who are working on it or have worked on it. Yes. So I am very lucky, and I was always very. I mean, actually, you could technically say there's like 3.5 because it's actually a friend of Chubb's who's doing the main art for me, who he recommended. So you could definitely say it's a very in-house project, and the reason it's such a passion project is for me is because Chaplin was in a boys' home when he was 6 years of age with my great uncle. That's how this all started. I've got a photo.
Oh, wow.
I've got a photo of them sat 2 rows from each other. That's how it all started. I was researching family history and had to get a photo of my own uncle from the Charlie Chaplin estate, and I didn't understand why. And that's how it all started. So he's always been something positive in my life. He's given me so many. Obsessions strike up a word of being something really negative, right? But there's nothing negative about anything he's ever brought me. So that's why I hope this book's going to be good.
Are you going to put that in the book? The photo of your? Oh, great! That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I'm allowed to do that. It's one of the reasons why I wanted this. I wanted their blessing, and it's so really. It's just bizarre having to send these emails and pages in and knowing they're getting approved by his kids.
Yeah,
you know, that's
wild. Yeah,
that's the most. It is the most bizarre thing. But his biographer is also writing an introduction for me, and his biographer was the man that wrote the script for the Robert Downey Jr. film, and I've known him for the last 10 years. So it is Chubb's right. It's, you know, it is my passion, and I know I bore the guys here stupid, right? I know I do, and it's only going to get worse when I have to start promoting this thing from Friday. But I love them all, really.
It's all right. It's all right, love.
The enthusiasm is catching, though.
But it works though. I mean, I think the counterbalance of them going at you for you know, maybe possibly being long-winded sometimes because you care about this so deeply. I'm just saying possibly. It creates a lot. I think it creates a lot of fun energy. Is what
they're
I'm
just
saying.
jealous because you can fill an hour. And they that's what it is. Like, dude, it's the same with me when I talk with Brian. I tell to Brian, I'm like, dude, I wish I could fill an hour just going on one subject when I'm not like that.
Right.
I'm not jealous you can fill an hour, Sam. I'm annoyed I'm losing one.
Good one.
And I think all
you
of
can
this
still do something while you're listening, though. It's not like she's like.
I'm painting.
From all of this, you know, with Charlie's London. That project and just CG in general, I think it's important. We need to believe,
dude.
We need to believe in ourselves, okay? And this video really encapsulates what that's all about.
Jet, vind je het eng?
Ik kan het gewoon niet.
Ja, natuurlijk wel. Je moet gewoon durven. Nou, kijk, zelfs Rosling gaat over de bok.
Oud.
Nou, wat denk je? Oké, kom. Dan gaan we, Jet.
No! Just believe in yourself, guys.
Yeah. Jet, vind je het eng?
Oh, that was great.
Dude, that reminds me of the commercial we had here in Canada. Every time you went to see a movie, they would have a video telling you that you need to be play like an handicap when you're playing basketball to make them feel more. That was an entire freaking thing. Like,
yeah,
pull out a wheelchair, play basketball with them, make them feel regular. And I'm like, isn't that the opposite? Isn't that why they started doing the what is it, handicapable marathon Olympics or something like that? And like that was the thing, is that it's the part of the challenge that they can keep function.
Yeah.
I think that's the pride. That's what's amazing about it. Not going like, well, let me put myself down so you can have a chance. That's nice.
Yeah, like imagine let's all get in the wheelchairs and then let's destroy you at basketball and then stand up and be like, see ya, and walk off. That's outrageous.
Right?
COVID Kev is calling us all evil, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to argue against sometimes, but yeah.
Oh, that was funny. I'm sorry.
No, that was me. I think it really, there's this idea that everyone can do everything and that it's all equal. It's like, no, it isn't. Just shut the fuck up about that. Not everyone can do everything, and thank God for that.
I do like the fact that, Rot, you're the only person on the planet, I think, that's managed to discover that the Germans do have a sense of humor.
It reminded me so much of that joke in the Incredibles with Dash, when he's like, Dash, because you know that everybody is special, everybody, and you're like, what you're really trying to say is that nobody really is. Like, he needs to dumb himself down. He can't do nothing because people will feel. And he's like, yeah, I can't be special. Got it.
Cap, that was Dutch, not German. Germans do not have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Same thing, isn't it? Holland, Denmark, Sweden.
Oh man,
the Dutch have a great sense of humor. I mean, I'm not gonna. No, never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Not allowing foreigners to smoke weed anymore. That's not very funny.
No, I was gonna say no. Never mind. I'm gonna get somebody's channel strike.
Who's not allowed to smoke weed anymore?
In Amsterdam, they tried to ban it so that people with non-nationals weren't allowed to buy from coffee shops.
That's not true. You can still do that.
I said they tried.
Yeah, they tried.
Amsterdam. Okay.
But the Americans don't have a problem with that. They just go up the street now. I mean, I think it's legal in all states now. Is that right?
Not all. Is it?
Well, most of us.
It's complicated.
Even Arizona, like we were like hardcore, like no, that was never going to happen. And now, yeah, it's pretty much legal in Arizona. You can just, you stub your toe and they'll just give you a card and you can go buy weed wherever you want. So.
You know what's weird here in Canada is like you can smoke. You can pretty much smoke. It's legal everywhere, but you have to be 16 to drive. You have to be 18 to go in clubs and drink, but you have to be 21 to smoke weed.
I think there's still 6 states in the US where it's illegal.
Right?
Isn't there still 6 states in the 6 states where it's still illegal, and then half of them it's medical marijuana, and the rest of them it's just completely legal?
It's insane to me that it's insane to me anywhere that you can go die in somebody else's war before you can legally drink alcohol or smoke weed.
Yep.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Well, the other thing that's insane is our prisons, especially in Arizona, are packed with people in there for marijuana distribution.
Oh, insane.
But now it's legal, and it's like, well, why don't you just let them people out? I mean, it's not even
insane.
They should have all been released in like a ticker tape parade, like on the day that it was legal.
But remember, you punish the guilty state of mind. You don't punish the actual act, right? So because these people saw the law, fuck it, I'm going to break it. That's what you're punishing.
Just because it has nothing to do with punishment, though. It has to do with corporate prison system here. They make $40,000 a year off of every prisoner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got that.
Because of the 13th Amendment, they can work them in it. So I want to point this out that marijuana is legal in more states than anal sex is.
Yep, that is true. For a lot of people, you still go to hell for that one, but not for smoking weed.
Oh man, that was a great comment.
Yeah, and the irony, of course, is that smoking the weed will lead to more sodomy by default. So it's there's definitely something going on there.
What states is anal illegal in?
Loads.
I think these are just old
don't
laws.
want to go there.
Old laws, I think that they just haven't bothered.
Is it right? You'll know. Is it still illegal in California to tie your pet giraffe to a lamppost?
Oh no, we do that all the time.
That was one. That was one that baffled me. I saw that a few years ago, and I thought that was brilliant.
God. Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
John Waters do that all the time, man. It's no big deal.
Gargoyle says in 09 it was illegal to look Mexican in Arizona. Is that true?
Everybody in Arizona is half Mexican. What are you talking about? I'm even half Mexican.
My bro's Mexican. He doesn't even look Mexican.
Yeah, me neither. I'm half German, half Mexican, and I don't look Mexican at all.
There you go.
Nice.
That's
This is helpful.
the map.
Okay.
See, some of these green states, you're only allowed, like the blue ones, you're only allowed anal sex if you're gay. Like, there's a specific rule. Like,
You gotta fill out paperwork.
I guess so. Yeah. Like, so you can have sex. You can have anal sex with your best friend, but not with your wife in those countries.
Well, the good news is if you
What if you're good friends with your wife?
if you want the anal sex,
your wife
there's
is
a good
probably
chance you're
happy about
maybe
that.
a little gay anyway. So.
What if my wife identifies as a man? What then?
Oh, you might be good. And it doesn't
She's gonna feel left
specify.
out?
I wonder if it's illegal for both parties, or whether it's just the bummer or the bummy. Like, I'd like some more clarification on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like
does
here,
that
like here,
cover-
prostitution. The prostitution is legal from the people doing the prostitution, but if you're hiring here, that's illegal.
And does it cover all things going in the bottle? So like a thumb, for example.
Yeah.
These are the hard-hitting
Goosing's
questions.
legal. Goosing's legal everywhere.
What do you call it?
Goosing.
Goosing. Okay.
What the fuck was that?
Just Martian.
Isn't that
This
what-
guy, I think he thought that the bottle would break on his thick skull, but
Did you
not
see
happen.
that video on Twitter where the lady, her husband's watching TV and he has a bald head, and she gets one of those dildos with the suction cup and she like throws it across the room and it sticks to the back of his head?
I haven't seen it. That's pretty great.
I was like, that is like kung fu level aiming right there. It's awesome.
Like let's try if you can resist this hard metal bottle, but let's hit you in one of the softest spot on your skull. How stupid are they?
I am fascinated by the different word. Like there are some words I'm just like, what? How? Why? And well, compost is one where the pronunciation of compost.
You moron.
I know. I don't. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really. That sounds so.
Oh, that's
bizarre
what a
to me.
broiler is. Oh.
So.
I always
Yeah,
wondered.
I was
see
just
recipes,
curious
it says
about, like,
broil,
going
and I'm
down
like,
those.
what the fuck is a broil?
Like, and maybe maybe some insight into how some of these came about, because some of them don't make a lot of sense to me.
I'm realizing that my English vocabulary is a mix of both. Because I don't use broiler, I use a grill.
To be fair, I use some of these American words as well.
Yeah. So
you
like,
guys call French fries crisp, but you call
Crisp.
chips crisp. It's weird, man.
French fries they call chips.
Chips.
But chips they call crisp,
Crisps.
right?
No, French fries are French fries.
And why the
chips
hell
are
are they? And why the hell are they
crisp,
using a
crisp.
French word for
So-
cookies?
The French what?
Biscuit.
Oh, biscuit. No, that's not cookies. Cookies are cookie. A biscuit is a biscuit.
Yeah. I
They're
was
two
gonna
different
say,
things.
It's a
Cookie
different
is
thing.
a Dutch word.
It's not a cracker. A cracker's a fucking. I'm not going to say it.
Slave
A
driver.
white guy. Cracker's a white guy. We know that.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, a
cookie is
biscuit.
like a-
A
So
biscuit isn't a
like
cookie.
like a custard cream or a chocolate digestive or.
I have no
bourbon
idea what you're saying,
or-
Dave.
No, you don't know any of these biscuits.
I agree with Dave. They're not the same thing. A
Nope.
cookie is more moist than a biscuit. I've had this argument loads of times. It is a fact.
I don't know. I've had some dry cookies though. Like
Cookies
Maryland.
can be. I mean, here cookies can be anything from like a dry ass brick to a moist. You know, like they're all
Moist.
cookies.
Have
They're all
you guys
cookies.
ever had hardtack biscuits?
No.
Well,
Hardtack biscuits is the biscuits they used to give the soldiers during the First World War. They look like you won't know what I'm talking about, but they look like Warburton's Thins, right? But they're hard. So they're like square cookies, or look like they've got little holes in them, like punched in them. But they are rock hard. They were meant to keep for months. So you basically they're they got no like sweet or savory. They're just like bread, and you can add like custard to them to make them almost like the base of a trifle, or you could add like gravy or soup to make them like a savory meal. But they used to have them. They could keep them for months. They're disgusting. But I'm just.
But the funniest thing is biscuit in French does mean cookie, and crackers. Crackers is the salted top crackers.
What Christine was just saying in the chat is absolutely correct. After the French invasion of 1066, we took loads of their words in English, words that you guys use as well, that made it like how we call beef and instead of cow, like which comes from the French word le beef, for example. There's like hundreds of examples. Our language
comes from the French word le beef.
No,
but it's like aubergine there. That's the French word for eggplant. Aubergine.
Now, do you guys have the same like staples as we have? Like we have our, American staples are pork, chicken, and beef. Are you guys' staple meats like the same, or?
Yeah, with lamb as well, I guess.
That's fair idea, almost stationary.
Staples is a stationary store in the US as well, I believe.
Going back to the biscuit,
and
Rob,
their bacon
look at my
is fucking
screen share.
weird.
Oh, okay.
Go to my screen, right? So this is a cookie.
But it's good.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
This is a biscuit.
Yep.
All right. So you see the difference?
So what do you guys call a cookie?
But
then?
you see, in French,
Yes.
in French, it's all the same, dude.
So you're saying this website, this is wrong then?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we're being misinformed, and you're spreading the propaganda, Rotten.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like in
but
French,
this is even on
in
on
French,
television
it's true,
shows.
not
it's
in
not.
English. No.
It's a little confusing. So you,
I mean,
at
look
no
at number
point,
20. No one
at
goes
no
to the
point
gym
do
to
you.
elevate weights, do they?
What?
I said,
What is
look at
this?
number 20. Nobody goes to the gym to elevate a weight.
Right.
Yeah, but that's
I don't know. So a biscuit is not a cookie. I always thought that was the term that you use for cookie.
Oh, no.
It's unfair to match up the
But
word
it is in
biscuit with the
French.
word cookie, because biscuit is like a bigger category. Like you have to have a biscuit aisle, like, and they would have
It's
the
all the-
crackers and the bourbons and the Garibaldis and the cookies. Like, as a
sometimes
like
we
that.
include cookies in biscuits. So cookie is a type of biscuit for us.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That's what it is here in French. Biscuit is all of them. You have the chocolate chip cookies. You have the hard one. You have the soft one. You even have the pastry ones. Like
or a pink wafer. I love a pink wafer.
Pink wafer is a diamond.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
That's why you want to move to that state with the anal sex, isn't it?
Now, do you use wardrobe for like instead of closet? Is it wardrobe?
Yeah, I would never say closet unless it was in the context of someone coming out of the closet.
So you
Which
use
now
that,
makes sense
that
to why
phrase.
that's
That phrase is something that you use coming out.
Would
of
you
the
like to know? Would you like to know
So how
where
does that
wardrobe
work?
comes-
What, Rotten, do you want to read the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Closet?
I do. I definitely want to read that. The Lion, the Witch are in the closet. So,
Is that like
yeah.
a gay take on The Lion, the Witch, and the
No,
Wardrobe?
but it's quite a good porn film though. The Liar, the Bitch, and the Homo Closet. You know where the word wardrobe actually comes from? It actually comes from the Norman Conquest in 1066, because originally they believed that you could kill all the fleas and lice in your clothes by storing them in the toilet, so the smell of your toilet would evaporate off and kill all the bugs. So what they did was, obviously the toilet was known as a garde-loo, which is where we get the phrase loo from, and it literally means like watch out below. So it changed, so it became a garde-robe, somewhere to guard your robes, and then it became a wardrobe, somewhere to ward your robes, to keep things away, to ward off spirits, and that's why we call it a wardrobe.
So you would hang your clothes and take a shit in the same room.
That's
Exactly.
And they replaced that by mothball at the end.
Well, do Americans not wash their clothes and do a shit in the same room?
No.
No.
If you live in New York, probably, because everything's the same room if you live there.
I've seen loads of people have their washing machines in the bathrooms. That's
Yeah.
not like a.
That's how it
They're
is in
just
Canada.
assholes.
That's how it is mostly in Canada.
Wait, you have your washing machines in the bathroom?
No, we have them in the kitchen, but some people have them in the bathroom and it, like, you know.
Mark, let's not go there. You don't think that you wash jeans.
But that's
We
how
have
it's
them
built.
in the
here.
laundry room.
That's how the
Technically, you're not supposed to.
But that's how it's built here. It's either you have a room for it, right? Like you have a washing room. If
Yeah,
you
that's
have
what
a
we
big
have
house,
here.
or they usually build it into your bathroom. So you you usually have your shower, your place for your washer dryer, and then you have your toilet.
Yeah, usually here it has its own room, or a lot of times it's in a closet in the hallway. So yeah.
I'm curious about this liquor store. Is this accurate? Off license? What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, because it means if you're buying something without a license, because a license as you're buying it outside of like a licensed premises, as in like a pub.
That's not what it means. So you need a license to sell alcohol in it, and you either have an on license where people consume the alcohol on the premises, or an off license where they're
okay.
off the premises. So that's a store where you go and buy it and then drink it in the street.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. The pacifier and dummy is interesting to me. Like, how did a pacifier become known as a dummy?
I think it's the other way around, mate. How did the dummy become known as a pacifier?
Well, pacifier. I don't know. I like pacifier better in this instance because it's literally what it's doing.
Yeah, here if a baby is sucking on a dummy, that guy's going to prison.
Yeah.
Your kid says that at school, and you're in trouble.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no defense of this word. It is kind of dumb, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one I'm always curious. Why do you guys call pants trousers? I've never got that.
That's what they are.
That's what they are.
Well, and then pants.
Sometimes.
Yeah, pants are
Pants
what you
is
put on under your
underpants.
trousers. Yeah.
When they say pants, they're talking about your fucking underwear.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Your pants.
Yes.
And then you got your trousers.
Yeah.
Or shorts or whatever,
Now this is going to confuse them even more. So pants could also mean briefs, boxer shorts, Y-fronts, thongs,
G-strings.
Okay.
Knickers.
G-cups, or G-cups as they call them, I think now they're called, aren't they? Must have seen them now.
Okay. To us, pants it's anything that's technically long-legged.
Yeah.
Right? And we have shorts, underwear
Reasonable.
for what goes under those things.
That'd be complicated for a daddy long legs, wouldn't it? Everyone going running around going, look, get daddy pants, get daddy
But where
pants.
did the word trouser come from? That's what I'm curious more.
France.
No, the word pant comes from pantaloon, and that's French as well. Like, I'm not sure where the trouser one comes from. I'm trying to think. Do you use the word trouser in a different context in American? Like, we would say that you trousered something, like to steal it, maybe. Like, no.
Nope.
I use the word trousers sometimes just to refer to pants as well. Sometimes
sounds more German than French, honestly.
I mean, if they're nicer, if they're dressier, you would use slacks. We would call that slacks.
Yeah, slacks. I
Wait,
call my
if they're
work.
dressier, why are they slacks?
I know.
That
That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
Because to me, it makes more sense. Because in the UK, it's called trousers. In the US, it's called pants. In French, it's pantalon.
I call
it's
my
the same,
work
it's
pants
P-A-N-T.
trousers.
It's still P-A-N-T, right? So it's still pants, pantalon. So that's why I'm like, if I would pronounce it in English, it would be pantalons, right? So
one of the interesting things about trousers is that it's plural as well. Like, one pair of trousers is a plural. Like, it's two trousers.
We do use trouser snake here. So
there you go. That's one.
yeah. Trouser snake, but usually isn't it in your pants or in your underwear? That means thing. Because I heard trousers, but usually meant for underwear in the U.S. Like in the old movies. Get your trousers
I guess
on.
you could use pantaloni baloney.
All right, so I've done some research, and the word trousers comes from the word drawers.
Drawers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drawers. Which would definitely be here would If somebody said that, I would.
Why would you call your pants
underwear.
drawers?
I would think underwear.
Yeah,
underwear.
it does sound more underweary, don't it?
Yeah.
Fascinating shit, man.
What is the one that always got me was that we use full stop. You guys use period. Where the hell do you get period from?
Once a month.
We're so happy when it stops.
There's a weird
yeah,
thing
that
with
one's
it.
really that's fascinating.
I
to
did
me
wonder
as
that
well.
one
So,
too.
so when you use the term full stop, you're literally referring to the punctuation at the end of a sentence.
We don't really use the term though, do we? Not really.
Because yeah, to me that's something you would say if you're like having a radio conversation. You would say full stop or something like that, so they know you're done.
You do use it sometimes, like in the same context that they would use period when you say, and this is the last time you are doing this, full stop. Like,
it's like if you wanted to have extra emphasis, you would say full stop. Like that's it. That's the
driving
whole
test lot.
thing.
And you know that's the weirdest thing is that in French it's just point, so it would be point.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
that's an interesting thing that they do on mainland Europe is they use points instead of commas in large numbers in it. So like a million will be 1.30.30. It's like, no mate, that's a number one. That is like
Just forget
you order
you're not
that many
European
books from me,
anymore,
you get one. I said on mainland Europe.
Yeah, I know. We don't need to say that
We
anymore.
don't
You can
do
just
that
say Europe.
Now, do you guys have as many? Do you think Americans have more slang in their language than you guys have, or do you guys have more?
No way.
No way.
No way.
I was looking at this study thing the other day, and we have way more. Like,
You have way more, huh?
Yeah, so you know that game that you play when you're a kid where you chase each other and touch people?
Tag.
So all the Americans, you all
What the
agree
hell?
that's called tag, yeah? And I would wager that all of us call it a different name. So
It.
where I come from, we call it TIG, and it.
We call
Charlie
it
said it.
I call it touch.
Touching
We call it
people.
herpes.
Touch.
I'll call it a criminal offense.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, there's another one. What do you call the end of a bread? So you know you got a loaf of bread, and you got the end
Heel.
piece.
Sorry.
The butt.
Knobby.
Yeah, the
See, I
heel
call
or
it
the butt.
I call it a topper.
It's the heel. It's the heel of the bread.
I call it
Yeah.
a crust.
Crust, yeah.
See?
No, the
All-
crust
all
is all
different.
round. You can have crust on every
Yeah,
individual slice of bread.
Bro, did you know that last piece of bread, that's just crust?
That's just
Nah, it's,
crust.
it's a topper, man. It's a topper.
And then, of course, you've got Cockney rhyming slang, which is a whole different thing.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Apples and pears, which is basically
Stairs.
So
fancy way of
does
saying
the
stairs.
was the movie Snatch? Was that an exaggeration? The pikey thing, was that an exaggeration? or was
No,
that
no, and do you know
exaggeration?
where? No, and do you know where the phrase "to be a pikey" comes from? It actually comes from during the English Civil War. The armies were not originally. They were not like paid armies, and then they started becoming paid armies. But the very, very lowly members of society who signed up to fight, they didn't really want them involved, and also there was so many of them. They made them like cannon fodder before there were cannons. They did use cannons, but what they did what I'm trying to get at sword fodder. So what they did was they said, right, you can go in first with the pikes, and the idea was they went in on one knee with the pikes in the air, and then the horses running at them would get stabbed by the pikes, but inevitably the horses would fall. The horses would fall on these particular men who it didn't matter if they died because they were peasants. And because of that, they became known as pikeys.
Wow. If you was
would you say
kneeling-
it's not a very friendly or nice thing to? Is it a term that people don't like being used?
Well, generally, you
it's
never
like
say
gypsy.
you pikey. You normally say you fucking pikey. So yeah, that's probably true.
Oh shit.
And right, to answer your question of are they that exaggerated, you literally opened the show with a video of one. Like
I did. Oh, I've got a shorter version of that, I think, in here. Yeah.
Where the fuck am I meant to put my weight? Mate, I can't put my weight in the roof, it's dead fat. I can't hold on to the bottom of my meant to do that. Oh, you don't do nothing for 5 minutes. You fucking wankstein.
Now, you guys understood that?
Yep, perfectly.
Yeah.
God, it sounded like gibberish to me.
Any of these fuckers on this panel now telling you they understood it, they're talking bullshit, mate. Right?
I do know that he was like, he was
most of
something
it.
about not being able to put his weight down here or there, and like, I definitely got wank stain. I got the wank
Hey, I wanted to
stain.
tell Kami Mark this. I was telling one of the guys at work about like how you say you ask a question and you say "isn't it?" So now I noticed like all the guys where I work, they say that now. They say that's still leaking, isn't it?
Yeah,
they copy it. They like it. Like they all say that now.
It's addictive.
Well, to
It
be
can be.
fair-
It's a very easy to get in the habit of using it for sure.
Well, to be fair, after seeing someone we called a wank stain, you could rename him Cummy Mark, couldn't you?
Thanks. That's my porn name, that is.
What's that?
That's my porn name.
I want to do
full
a
name.
superhero called Wankstain. That would be great.
Wankstein, yeah.
Wankstein and his
Wankstein.
sidekick, Cummy Mark.
Harvey Weinstein.
All right. We're approaching that 2-hour mark. So at this stage, I'm gonna let everybody do some shout outs, talk about what you'd like to talk about. I am gonna kick it off with I'm back in business with Red Gaze. We are putting on a flash fiction writing contest. And all the entries will be read on a live stream by Red Gaze in that super awesome voice of his. That show will be going down October 16th. The deadline for getting your flash fiction entry to me is literally October 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, so the day of, trying to give people as much time as possible. And I will drop a link to the Twitter post about this for anyone interested. We'd really love to have some more entries for this thing. The winner will receive a copy of the Sunswarm novel by Red Gaze.
Cool.
So that's my pitch for the day.
Does the Frazetta Foundation get a cut of that?
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
What's the
So, yeah.
rules for the competition?
It's just 250 words or less. Title does not count toward the word count, and the genre is fantasy.
I'm
That's
writing
really
a
all there is
haiku.
to it. That's all there is to it.
I'm just gonna write a haiku and turn it in. That work?
Sure, you could if you'd like Red Gaze to read your haiku. I'm sure he'd be happy to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an interesting show, guy.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah.
We've gotten several entries. There's some really good stuff in there. I'm just hoping more. I'm going to go on Narwhal's channel on Thursday, I believe. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. Hoping to get on some other channels and promote it. We'd like to get, I'd love to get like 15 entries. That'd be nice. Because the writer, artists are always getting stroked in CG, but the writers typically don't have a lot of opportunities to show off. So I'd like to change that.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Sounds like a scam.
Yeah. Sounds like overcompensation.
That's right. All right, that went well. I'm really happy with that. Mark, I know you've got Fans Hour coming up later today.
Oh yeah, I still got to do that. Yeah, no, that's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I've got a lot of people lined up already to come on. Going to look at some cool books and that. Like, it's going to be great. It's at 10 o'clock on my channel, and it's 10 o'clock GMT, 5 p.m. EST. It's 1 o'clock in the morning in Atlantis, if anyone's watching from there. Nice. But you're not showing up on my YouTube analytics if you are watching it from Atlantis. I keep checking in the hope someone's going to watch from North Korea.
Yeah, no doubt. That's funny.
Did you ever hear back from that guy?
No, he hasn't replied yet. Like a North Korean reached out to me and to show me his work, and he was telling us his story in Korean, and we had to translate it. It's a show. Go back and watch it on my channel. I think it's called A North Korean Reached Out to Me.
Yeah.
I keep waiting to hear you're in some kind of prison camp somewhere. You're brave.
Yeah, Christine asks, can the entries for the flash fiction contest be the start of a story? Certainly. If it fits within the 250-word constraint and it's in the genre of fantasy, I don't have any problem with that. Sure.
Mine's called Wank Stain, Slayer of Cocks.
There you go.
Did you say fantasy? Does that include porn?
For you, Cap, you know that there's no rules. For anything you do, you're allowed to do whatever you want. That's
all right. Bagsy, that horse thing then.
I mean, I think the people who are going to do better in the contest will probably, try to create some kind of really high impact moment in time, something that really packs a lot of punch in that, because it's a really low word count. So the challenge is, can you create a powerful scene using such few amount of words? I think that's the challenge for the writers.
Yeah. Oh, is that max words? 250?
Yes.
Yeah, max.
Oh, okay.
That makes it a real challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you really, I think it's really fun as a writer when you have that kind of limitation to see how much impact you can create. That's really
it's great to have. It's great to have that much free time.
Yeah. All right. Comic Mark, anything else you'd like to shout out?
Just sign up to the Not Daredevil mailing list. We'll be doing that soon. Just follow me on YouTube and follow everyone else, but they're going to get a turn anyway, so go with them. In fact, I'll say, going back, Only Death Can Save Us, while it's still going.
Go back it twice like I did.
Yeah. Yeah, great project, and I do have a link to that in the description below. Captain Fuckhead.
Having worked on more books than any other of these fucking cunts on here, no, I haven't got anything to promote.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I
wasn't expecting that to be so short. I was lost in my own little fantasy world, I guess.
I think that may have been a John Keats poem he was reciting there.
Okay.
I wander lonely as a cloud that flow on high through seas and cunts.
Yeah, I think it was that.
I hate to tell you, Jan, but poetry does not exist in my world, mate. It's for fairies. And don't say that word on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about Bukowski?
Bukowski, you can say that. That's okay. You can say that.
All right, cool. Yeah,
It's
he
not
kind of
quite
broke down those
Bukowski.
barriers a little, didn't he? Yeah, for sure.
CG is a hat group.
Oh, yeah. I need some hats. Sim.
Me, I like to say that CG is a cultivated group. So go check out Tales from the Nadverse, and when you're doing that, go check out Seven Legions, The Lost Pages, go sign up for The Ace, there's Doom Fate, there's a whole bunch of books that I can't think of all of them, so don't hate me because I forgot it. But go check them out.
That Boba Fett book looks quite good.
That Boba Fett book? Yeah.
Yeah,
looks awesome.
Book and it does look pretty dope.
I hope it's better than The Mandalorian, because that sucked.
Ugh, horrible. Horrible piece of trash. Dave.
Well, finishing off my dissertation, so up till November the 6th, I've not really got anything going. So in the meantime, follow me on Twitter. My YouTube will be coming very soon, so go sub ready if you want. Feel free. And Christine mentioned it in the chat. There's this really cool book, War Party, on Indiegogo at the moment. Looks really cool. You like werewolves. This is like were leopard, were like a lion, were eagle, where there's a load of fucking things. Just go look at it. Looks really cool.
Nice.
That was it.
Can you pop a link in the chat for that? That'd be awesome.
It looks a bit like, you remember there was a period where Nick Fury had a gang of monsters.
Oh yeah.
Sort of got that vibe to
It
it.
reminded me of the old Sega game called Altered Beast.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was pretty cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did. I don't know if you heard this. I think it was on yesterday's show on Comic Mark. I can't remember what show it was, but Chubb, I was trying to find your YouTube channel.
I renamed it.
Did you rename it?
Yeah, it's now called Proper Comics.
Okay. All right. Cool. Because I was like, dude, I typed in Carl. I think that was literally the whole name of your channel. And I'm like, dude, I went through like, I must have looked at hundreds of channels with the name Carl in it. And I'm like, I cannot find this shit. I cannot find it at all. So yeah, good move on changing that name.
Yeah, it was short-sighted. That's for sure.
Proper Comics, got it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna drop a link to that YouTube for people. Chubb, anything you'd like to shout out?
Not really. I mean, obviously, I've still got my Indiegogo up because I haven't taken it down. But
Right.
I know that it's getting a bit long in the tooth now. So, but I will be. The aim is to launch a mailing list at least for the new projects as soon as possible.
Oh, I
So-
thought you had done. For some reason, I thought you had that out there already.
No, not yet. No, I want to get. I haven't had time. I want to get some art out to pin to it so it can
Sure.
draw some attention.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, definitely get that email going, man. And, I mean, even if it's, I know, of course, you like to show new stuff all the time, but you have this great catalog of material. The longer you can get people signing up for that, the better.
The thing is, as well, Chubb has done like loads of sketches, like for people as tiers, that he could just show as new content, like that stuff that none of us have seen before. Just to build buzz and excitement in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, good idea. But yeah, just hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. I'll get that up and going. And and there'll be a little incentive for signing up to the mailing list too. So I want to get everything together.
Free blow job for every customer.
Yeah, Comic Mark's gonna he's gonna contract those out for me. That's right. He's going to do subcontractor there. So, it's a bit of a trip out to Birmingham, but I'm sure it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
And employment law in the UK is very sticky.
See, on the branding side too, again, I mean, I'm glad that you changed your YouTube to Proper Comics. It's going to be a lot easier to find, but still, it's still kind of a disconnect with, it's so much easier when people like Comic Mark. It's like, well, how do we find you? Well, you just type Comic Mark in whatever platform it is, and that's going to get you there. So it'd be nice if, like, I'm looking at your.
Don't tell him to call his YouTube channel Chubb.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't do that. But I think Merry Boys. I think whatever you commonly use in your text on like live streaming, people should be able to take some of that text at least and find you on other platforms.
Yeah.
So like maybe Proper Comics presents Merry Boys, or Merry Boys by Proper Comics could be your YouTube channel. I don't know.
What I tell people is put it in your bio. Like that, it resolves a lot of those issues. People can just find it, your links all there on YouTube.
Yeah, good idea.
I put my campaign there too, and it's one of the first things. Even my Discord's there. People find it, and it's way easier.
I loved your stop motion vid, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That was great. That was a lot of fun. I love doing that.
It's the worst.
It takes a long time.
It does. But it was a lot of fun after it was finished. But it was just, it's painstaking.
It looked like he was having a lot of fun while he was making it.
Do you know how long I had to hold that? Do you know how long I had to hold that gun while Mrs. Chubb was slicing the bloody whatever that vegetable's called? It was like, damn.
It's awesome. Stencil Artist Yan and Charlie's London. What would you guys like to shout out?
You can go.
I'll go first. Okay. It's Stencil Artist Yan on everything: Instagram, Twitter.
See how that
YouTube,
works? It's super easy.
Facebook. Check it out. There's videos. There's me making stuff. There's my photography that I do. I also, what else do I do? I do spooky walkthroughs of random buildings. So a little bit of everything. Check it out. I'd like to get to 150 subs if that's possible.
Of course,
because I lost one the other day.
I know it's brutal when in the early stages, especially. You're like, every time you lose one, it somehow causes you distress. It's like, Jesus Christ, I gotta stop. I gotta go outside. What the hell is happening to me?
Rot, don't go outside. You'll smoke.
Right. Now I'm taking a lot of walks, man. I'm enjoying, and dude, the sense of smell already, it's almost like creepy. I'm like, whoa, there's a whole other dimension to reality here.
Get taste back.
Yeah, flatulence is so. I guess is a lot more perceptible now. I guess.
Yeah.
I can smell my bro smoking a cigarette from really fucking far, even if my door's closed.
Yeah. How's it going for you, Sim?
I'm doing good.
Good. Cool.
I had those,
Yeah.
I mean, the most annoying one was, you start spitting stuff, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah.
All right, Charlie's. Anything you'd like to?
I'm gonna shill William Crawford. I'm gonna shill William Crawford Hazel. You know what? Fuck it, Cap. You just do what you want to do, because
it's an ongoing war between you two.
Go on, Charlie. Go on.
I'm going to shill William Crawford Hazel and Elsa Dark the conclusion, because two reasons. One, the first book should have done a damn sight more than it did. Wooly is an incredible guy. He's so knowledgeable. He's insane, like amazingly talented, and also he's another one that is working on my campaign. He's done a one shot about the friendship between Stan Laurel and Charlie Chaplin, and the artwork for that is I'm not exaggerating when I say it's mouthwatering. Like, what he's done is incredible. Nice. So I think let's get Elsa Dark some love. His mailing list is up and running. The book launches on Halloween, which is fitting.
Nice.
Let's get it out there. Let's make it another big CGUK book.
Very cool. If and you're more than welcome to drop links to whatever you like. I'm pretty sure I've rinsed most of you up, if not all of you already. So yeah, you can drop those links.
Mm-hmm.
Ink spots. Anything you'd like to shout out, man?
Yeah, first off, I just want to shout out all these incredible UK creators. If you would follow them, back them. I've never seen anyone from UK CG put out anything that's not been wonderful. So you got to get on board with these guys. These guys are kicking ass. They're bringing top quality. I think that Charlie's, well, the exception of Commie Mark and Captain Fuckhead, but I think Charlie's London, this new book she's putting out is going to touch a lot of people that aren't into comics. It's going to I think it's going to stretch out there and touch, get a hold of a lot more customers. It goes far beyond comics. That being said, this year I'm going to be working on a ton of projects. So you can follow me at My Evil Robot on Twitter. Make sure you back Tales from the Natverse. I'm going to do a painted cover for my man Sim here, and it's going to be awesome. And then I'm working on Cash Grab. Cash Grab is over halfway done. And then
Nice.
A lot of other, I got a ton of work coming up. I'm going to make this year my year where I up my game as far as my coloring and painting and drawing. I've got a children's book that's definitely coming out this year. I got a project I'm working on with Rotten Glory. I have several projects of my own that I'm working on, as well as a lot of projects that I did last year that should be actually coming out this year. So I'm hoping.
And you doing my colors?
Yes, I'm doing the colors for Charlie's London, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to really put a lot of work into that make it as awesome as I can.
The man is busy. And
yeah, just follow me on Twitter, and hopefully this will be a big year for ComicsGate and for independent comics just in general. I do want to shout out Brian Christau's new Six Gun Gorilla sign-up list. If you guys would go over there, check that out, as well as Dragon Rage that's coming out from Jimmy Reyes.
Yes.
Give that some love. That looks amazing. So
Indeed.
that's all I got to say.
We had a great time hanging out with them, the Dragon Rage crew on Saturday. That was a good show. Great book. Great guys, man. They're doing, if you guys haven't checked out their YouTube channel, Page One Comics, it's holy shit. They're so generous with their time and their platform. Highly recommend that people sub to that.
Here's a little glimpse of that's the cover is going to be painting.
Oh
Yeah,
right,
I'm gonna-
nice dude.
I'm working on the. Yeah, that's
You
the
get to
layout.
you get to paint another motorcycle, man. I know you're stoked about that.
I don't mind painting them. I just don't want to draw.
You don't want to draw them. all right. Very
I could
nice.
never do Ghost Rider, or I could never do a Cecil because he's got that little damn scooter. I hate motorcycles.
It's a hover bike. It's not the same. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cap, even from the chat, Cap he's still throwing punches. Everyone is working on Charlie's
I
book,
know.
but her.
Oh, he's right in the
Oh,
Wow.
wow! Why do you put up with this? Why do you put up with this behavior, Charlie's?
Because my brain is bigger than his dick and his ego, so it's completely fine.
She's used to hang with the boys. She just
That's right.
dusted off. Yeah.
I
Very
just want to
nice.
say about Charlie's book too, the unique kind of coloring she's going to have from black and white to sepia tone to color. That's pretty cool, and that's like the passage of time, right?
Yeah, that's what it's meant to be.
It's very cool.
Beautiful. It's gonna look so
Thank
good.
you.
What a project. All right. I want to thank the whole panel. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. Maybe we can make it a once a month or once every couple months kind of thing. I love hanging out with you guys. You bring a lot of entertainment to the table, and like Ink was saying, your projects they're so fascinating. They're so high quality. Really appreciate what you're doing. Get your guys a central hub website would be really helpful for CGUK, for sure. If you guys can make that happen. I want to thank the chat for hanging out with us, always contributing great stuff. And we will be back tomorrow with another great show. And thanks a lot, everyone.